Handling confidential data, like customer purchase history, contact details, or feedback, can feel like walking a tightrope. One slip and your sensitive information is exposed. Imagine running a retail chain like Ricardo's. Every day, thousands of customers make purchases, join loyalty programs, and share feedback. Protecting this data isn't optional, it's essential. That's where SFTP, Secure File Transfer Protocol, comes in. SFTP encrypts data during transfer, keeping it safe from unauthorized access. Now, let's see how Ricardo's imports contacts into SurveySparrow via SFTP. To do this, head to the Contacts section and click Add Contacts. Choose Import via SFTP. But before we proceed, you'll need an active SFTP connection. To establish a connection, simply enter the server credentials, then click Test Connection and continue. Now it's time to choose the file that contains your customer details. You can browse manually or use file name formatting to filter files. Click Choose File, and you'll see a master folder. Now click the plus icon to explore the subfolders or use the search bar to find the right file instantly. Once you've chosen the file you want to import, click Select. Choose file name format to quickly filter files based on specific elements, like a date or keyword. This helps you fetch the right files without scanning the entire directory. To do this, simply choose the folder that contains the files. Then, define conditions like file name contains or starts with, and enter the value in the value box. You will see the files matching the condition. Now click Continue Mapping, then verify if the imported data is correctly mapped against SurveySparrow fields. To change any mapping, choose from the drop-down and select the right field. Once everything looks good, click Import. Name the import and decide when you want this import to happen. If you're dealing with a one-time import, like a seasonal customer list, just click Finish Import and you're done. But if your list gets updated regularly with new transactions, you can skip the manual imports and let automation handle it. Click Schedule and set how often you want this import to happen: daily, weekly, or monthly. SurveySparrow will automatically fetch the latest file that matches your file name rule. You can also add team members to receive email notifications about the import status. Once scheduled, you'll find all imports under the Import section. Need to pause an import? Just toggle it off. And click the trash icon to delete an import. And that's it. Now, let's see how you can automate your email surveys with SFTP. Open the survey you want to distribute via email. In the Share section, select SFTP. Then click Create Share and enter a name for this automation. This name will be displayed in the Share section to help you identify the automation later. Now, let's set up your SFTP connection. Click Choose. Pick up a connection from the drop-down if you've already set up a connection. Or click Create a new connection. Enter the required details and save the connection. After your connection is authenticated, choose a file or folder that contains your recipient list. You'll see the master folder here. Click the plus icon to expand and view subfolders. Now choose the file with your recipient list and click Select. Surveys will be sent only to the contacts in this file. But if you upload new transaction data regularly, you can automate the process with pattern matching. Just enter a text pattern and select a date format. SurveySparrow will automatically detect the latest file that matches. For example, if your system saves a new customer transactions file daily with a date, set a pattern for it. The system will then automatically detect the newest file and send surveys accordingly without the manual work. Now decide how frequently you want to check for updates on the files: daily, weekly, or monthly. Now turn on the toggle and enter your team member's email ID to notify them of every successful import. Now, let's map the recipient details with the survey variables. First, select the column that contains the email address. You can also map other details as needed. If needed, click Add Column and include additional data. Now let's move on to composing your email. Instead of composing an email from scratch, save time with an existing email configuration. Click Copy Configuration from existing channels and you'll see a drop-down of your previous email shares. Select one and all its settings, from address to address and more, will be applied instantly. Or draft the email by adding a subject line and sender address and personalize it with customer details. You can also add a custom footer and theme of your choice. Review the email choose to send it immediately, or schedule it for later. You can also set up reminders for non-responders and partial responders. Once everything looks good, click Create Share. You'll be taken to the Automated Shares page where you can view, edit, or disable the automation anytime. Once the feedback starts rolling in, you can export the survey responses via SFTP. Start by opening the survey whose responses you want to export. By default, you'll land in the Results section of the survey. Here, switch the tab from Overview to Responses. Next, click the Share button in the upper right corner and select SFTP. Now, decide how often you want to export the responses. You can export your survey responses once or on a recurring schedule. For example, if you want to analyze weekly store performance, you can set up an automatic export every 7 days. If you choose monthly, the export will be triggered every 30 days from the day you set it up. You can also notify your team members about this export by enabling notifications and entering their email IDs. By default, all your survey responses will be exported. However, you can filter the responses to export only the data you need. For example, use status filters to include only completed or partially completed responses. Or use share channel filters to select responses collected via specific methods. You can even use survey question filters to target specific insights. For instance, you might want to export responses related to customer satisfaction on store experience. You can do that by choosing the particular questions from the survey. Now set up your SFTP connection by adding the required details. You can also choose to add the exact path of the file where you want to export the responses. Once done, click Save Connection. After your connection is authenticated, you can store your survey responses in an existing folder or create a new folder. If you choose an existing folder, you'll see a master folder. To explore inner folders and subfolders, click the plus icon or use the search bar. Or create a new folder by clicking Add Folder. You'll see a master folder again. To create a folder within it, click on the master folder and select Add Folder. Now type in the name of the new folder and click Save. For example, you might create a master folder named Customer Feedback 2024 and subfolders like Q1 Feedback, Store-wise Feedback, or Product Category Feedback. This helps you organize your data systematically, making it easier to retrieve and analyze later. Finally, choose the file format, CSV or JSON. Once everything's set, click Schedule Export. You'll be taken to the Manage Exports page where you can view, edit, or pause recurring exports anytime. And that's it. For further help, reach out to support@surveysparrow.com.